Imagine this. You are in a meeting. Your boss asks you a simple question in English. You know the answer. You know exactly what you want to say. But the moment you open your mouth, nothing comes out smoothly. You pause, you hesitate, you say, like, and suddenly you feel your face getting hot and your confidence completely disappearing.
Oh, Rose, that feeling is so real. I remember exactly when that used to happen to me. It was one of the most frustrating feelings in the world.
Right? And the worst part is you knew what you wanted to say. The problem was not your knowledge. The problem was something else entirely. And today, that is exactly what we are going to talk about.
How to speak English without pausing and hesitating, one of the most requested topics we have received.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Noor Daily English Podcast. I am your host, Rose.
And I am Alex, and we are so happy you are here with us for episode 2.
If you have not listened to episode 1 yet, go back and listen to it after this. We talked about how to improve your English vocabulary fast, and today's episode connects beautifully with that one because vocabulary and fluency go hand in hand.
Exactly. You can have all the vocabulary in the world, but if you pause and hesitate every time you speak, it feels like your English is broken, and we do not want that for you.
And if you are new here, welcome to the Noor Daily English family. Please subscribe right now so you never miss an episode. We release new episodes regularly, and each one is designed to help you with a specific part of your English journey.
In today's episode, we are going to cover 5 powerful sections, each one packed with real strategies, real examples, and techniques you can start using today.
But first, Alex, let me ask you something. Why do you think people pause and hesitate so much when they speak English?
That is such a great question to start with, Rose. And honestly, most people think the reason is nervousness. They think, oh, I'm just nervous. If I was more confident, I wouldn't pause.
And is that true?
Not entirely. Nervousness is part of it, yes, but the real reason goes much deeper than that. There are actually 3 main reasons why people pause and hesitate, and understanding these 3 reasons is the first step to fixing the problem.
3 reasons. Let us hear them, Alex.
Reason 1, you're thinking in your own language first and then translating to English, so your brain is doing double work. Think in Bengali, translate to English, speak. That process takes time, and that time shows up as pauses and hesitation.
Oh, yes. I used to do this constantly. I would form the whole sentence in my head first in my language, and then try to say it in English. And by the time I finished translating, the conversation had already moved on.
Exactly. The conversation moves on and you're still translating. Reason 2, you don't have enough automatic phrases and expressions stored in your brain. So when you speak, you're building every sentence from scratch, word by word, and that takes enormous mental effort.
So, for example, a fluent English speaker doesn't think about how to say, by the way, or to be honest, or what I mean is. These phrases come out automatically without thinking. But for a learner, even these small phrases require effort.
And that effort, multiplied across an entire conversation, is exhausting, and it creates constant pauses.
And reason 3?
Reason 3? Fear of making mistakes. You pause because you're checking yourself. You think, is this grammar correct? Is this the right word? What if I say something wrong? And that constant self-checking interrupts the natural flow of speech.
And again, if any of these 3 reasons sound familiar, please do not feel bad. These are the most common struggles for English learners everywhere, and each one of them can be fixed. That's what today is all about.
By the end of this episode, you will have a completely clear picture of why you pause and hesitate, and exactly what to do about it, step by step, practically, starting today.
Let's get into it. Section 2, here we go. Hack number 3. Destroy the fear of mistakes.
Rose, I want to start this section with a question, and I want our listeners to really think about this. When you were a baby learning to walk, did you stop trying after the first time you fell?
Of course not. Nobody does.
You fell, you got up. You fell again, you got up again. You never once thought, oh, I made a mistake walking. I should stop trying to walk. That would be ridiculous.
And yet, when it comes to speaking English, so many people do exactly that. They make one mistake, someone corrects them, or they feel embarrassed, and suddenly they become terrified of speaking. They check every word before it comes out. They pause constantly to make sure everything is perfect.
And that fear, that constant self-checking, is the #1 killer of fluency. Because fluency requires flow, and flow requires letting go of perfection.
So let us talk about how to actually do that, how to let go of the fear of mistakes and just speak.
Mindset shift #1. Mistakes are not failures, they are feedback. Every time you say something incorrectly, your brain gets information. This did not work. Try differently next time. That is not failure. That is learning. That is literally how your brain is designed to work.
So, for example, you say, yesterday I go to the market, instead of, yesterday I went to the market. Someone corrects you. What happens? Your brain files that away. Past tense, went, not go. And next time, the correct form comes out more naturally. The mistake taught you something. It moved you forward.
Mindset shift #2. Nobody is judging you as harshly as you think. This is so important. When you make a mistake in English, you feel like everyone noticed. Everyone is thinking, oh, their English is so bad. But the truth is, most people are focused on what you were saying, not how you were saying it.
And actually, when someone is speaking in a second language, people are genuinely impressed, not critical. They think, wow, this person is communicating in a language that is not their first. That takes courage. That takes effort, respect.
Mindset shift #3. Fluency first, accuracy second. This is the sequence that works. You focus on getting your message across first, speaking with flow, with confidence, with energy. And accuracy, correct grammar, perfect vocabulary, comes naturally over time through practice and exposure.
So imagine two people. Person A speaks very slowly and carefully. They check every word, every grammar point. Their sentences are technically correct, but they speak so slowly and hesitantly that it is actually hard to follow them. Person B speaks with energy and flow. They make a few small grammar mistakes, but their message is completely clear. Their confidence is infectious. Who would you rather have a conversation with?
Person B every single time. Because communication is about connection, and you cannot connect when you're speaking like a grammar textbook.
Okay, so here's a practical technique for actually overcoming the fear of mistakes. It's called the 5-second rule for speaking. When you want to say something in English, you give yourself a maximum of 5 seconds to start speaking, no more. You do not wait until the perfect sentence is formed in your head. You start speaking within 5 seconds, and you figure out the rest as you go.
Because here's what most people do not realize. When you start speaking, your brain actually helps you finish. Once the first words are out, the momentum carries you forward. The sentence builds itself, but you have to start. The first word is the hardest. After that, it gets easier.
So practice the 5-second rule in low-stakes situations first, with friends, with family, in casual conversations. Give yourself 5 seconds maximum, then speak. Start somewhere, anywhere, and trust that your brain will help you get to the finish line.
And here's one more powerful technique: deliberate mistake-making. Once a week, have a conversation where you intentionally do not self-correct at all. Whatever comes out, comes out. Wrong grammar? Fine. Wrong word? Fine. Just keep going. Keep flowing. The goal is not accuracy. The goal is pure, uninterrupted flow.
I love this technique so much because it's so liberating. You give yourself permission to be imperfect, and something magical happens. When you stop worrying about mistakes, you actually make fewer of them because your brain relaxes and performs better.
Wrapping up powerfully. Mistakes are feedback, not failure. Nobody judges you as harshly as you judge yourself. Fluency first, accuracy second. Use the 5-second rule and practice deliberate flow. These mindset shifts and techniques will destroy your fear of mistakes and unlock a level of English-speaking confidence you have never experienced before.
And now we come to our final section, Section 5, where we bring everything together and give you a clear daily practice plan that will transform your fluency in 30 days.
Let's finish strong. Final hack, your 30-day fluency plan.
Okay, everyone, we have covered so much today. We talked about why you pause and hesitate, the 3 real reasons. We talked about thinking in English and eliminating the translation pause. We built your automatic phrase library, and we destroyed the fear of mistakes. Now it is time to put it all together into a simple daily practice plan.
Because here's the truth. Everything we talked about today is only valuable if you actually practice it. Knowledge without action changes nothing. But knowledge with consistent daily action, that changes everything.
So here is your 30-day fluency plan. Simple, clear, completely doable, even with a busy schedule.
Every single day for 30 days, you do 3 things. Each one takes about 10 minutes, 30 minutes total. That is all.
Activity 1, Morning English Thinking, 10 minutes. Right after you wake up, narrate your morning routine in English, in your head. What you are doing, what you are feeling, what you see around you. Build that English thinking muscle every single morning.
Activity 2, phrase practice, 10 minutes. Pick 2 or 3 phrases from your automatic phrase library, the ones we talked about in Section 3, and use them in sentences out loud. Say them multiple times, in different contexts, until they feel completely natural coming out of your mouth.
So for example, today your phrases are, to be honest, I completely agree, and you would not believe what happened. You practice, to be honest, I think learning English every day is the best decision I ever made. I completely agree that consistency is more important than intensity. You would not believe what happened when I started thinking in English every morning.
Activity 3, evening speaking practice, 10 minutes. Set a timer and just talk out loud to yourself about anything. Your day, a topic you find interesting, a story, a dream you have. Use the 5-second rule. No pausing to check grammar, no translating, just flowing English speech for 10 minutes straight.
And record yourself, even just on your phone's voice recorder, because listening back to yourself is incredibly powerful. You will hear your own progress, you will notice where you still pause, and you will be motivated to keep going.
Now, let's break the 30 days down week by week so you know exactly what to focus on.
Week 1. Focus entirely on thinking in English. This is your foundation week. Morning narration every day. React to everything in English. Describe what you see. Build that English thinking habit before anything else.
Week 2, add phrase practice. You now have your thinking habit building. Now, layer in the automatic phrases. Practice 10 new phrases this week. Use them in your evening speaking practice.
Week 3. Apply the 5-second rule in real conversations. This week, every time you speak English with anyone, commit to starting within 5 seconds. No more waiting for the perfect sentence. Just start and trust the process.
Week 4, full integration. All 3 activities running together smoothly. Morning thinking, phrase practice, evening speaking, plus real conversations with the 5-second rule. By the end of week 4, you will feel a significant difference in your fluency. I promise you that.
And here's something I want you to remember throughout these 30 days. Progress is not always linear. Some days will feel great. Some days will feel like you're going backwards. That's completely normal. That's how all skill development works. The key is you show up every day anyway. You do your 30 minutes, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days.
Because fluency isn't built in big dramatic moments. It's built in small, consistent daily actions. 10 minutes of English thinking, 10 minutes of phrase practice, 10 minutes of speaking, day after day after day. That's how fluency is built. That's the only way fluency is built.
Today, we talked about the 3 real reasons you pause and hesitate. We learned how to stop translating and start thinking in English. We built a library of automatic phrases that make speech flow naturally. We destroyed the fear of mistakes with powerful mindset shifts and practical techniques. And we gave you a clear 30-day daily practice plan.
That's everything you need. You don't need anything else, just this. Practiced consistently for 30 days.
Thank you so much for being here with us for episode 2 of Noor Daily English Podcast. Every episode we release is designed with one goal: to help you speak English with confidence, fluency, and joy.
If this episode helped you, share it with one friend who struggles with pausing and hesitating in English. One share from you could completely change their English journey.
Subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave us a comment and tell us which of today's techniques are you going to try first. We would love to hear from you.
We'll see you in episode 3. And trust us, it's gonna be just as good.
Until next time, keep speaking, keep flowing, keep showing up. This is Rose.
And this is Alex.
From Noor Daily English. See you next time. Hack number 1. Stop translating. Start thinking in English.
Okay, Rose, this is the section I am most excited about, because I think thinking in English is the single biggest game changer for fluency, and almost nobody talks about it properly.
So, let us talk about it properly then. What does it actually mean to think in English?
It means exactly what it sounds like. Instead of forming thoughts in your own language first, you form them directly in English. English becomes the language of your thoughts, not just your speech.
And I know what some of you are thinking right now. You are thinking, that sounds impossible. How can I just switch the language of my thoughts?
And the answer is, you cannot switch it overnight, but you can train it gradually, consistently. And here's how.
Tell us the steps.
Step 1. Start with simple daily narration. When you wake up in the morning, describe what you are doing in English, in your head, silently. So you think, I am waking up. I feel tired. The room is cold. I need to brush my teeth. Simple sentences, simple thoughts, but in English.
And this might feel very strange at first, almost uncomfortable, because your brain is so used to thinking in your own language. But that discomfort is actually a good sign. It means your brain is working. It means new connections are forming.
Step 2. Describe what you see around you in English. You're sitting in a room right now. Look around. What do you see? In your head, say it in English. There's a table. The window is open. The light is bright. It is a quiet morning. Small observations, simple English, but you're training your brain to reach for English first.
So, for example, you are eating breakfast. Instead of thinking in your language, you think in English. The food is hot. It smells delicious. I'm hungry. I slept well last night. I feel ready for the day. Simple, natural English.
Step 3. When something happens during your day, react to it in English, in your head. So if something funny happens, you think, oh, that is hilarious. If something goes wrong, you think, this is so frustrating. If you achieve something, you think, I'm really proud of myself.
So basically, give yourself an English commentary of your own life.
Exactly. You become the narrator of your own story, in English. And over time, this narration becomes faster, more natural, more automatic, until one day you realize you're thinking in English without even trying.
And here's why this matters so much for pausing and hesitating. When you think in English, the translation step disappears. Your brain goes directly from thought to English words. No detour through your own language, no double work. And that makes your speech so much smoother and faster.
Think about it this way. Imagine you're driving a car. You know the route perfectly. You do not need to think about every turn. You just drive. Automatically, smoothly. That's what fluent speech feels like. You're not thinking about grammar or vocabulary. You're just speaking. And thinking in English gets you to that automatic driving stage.
So here's your challenge starting today. For just 10 minutes every morning, narrate your morning routine in English, in your head. What you're doing, what you're feeling, what you're seeing. 10 minutes every morning and do this consistently for 30 days. The change will genuinely surprise you.
And one more powerful technique for thinking in English: start dreaming in English. Now, I know you cannot control your dreams directly, but here's what you can do. Before you go to sleep, spend 5 minutes thinking in English. Review your day in English, in your head. What happened today? How you felt? What was good? What was difficult? And over time, your brain starts to process English even while you sleep.
That is such a beautiful idea. Your sleep becomes English practice time.
Stop translating, start thinking. Narrate your day, react in English, review before sleep. These are your tools for eliminating the translation pause forever.
Coming up, one of the most practical sections of the entire episode, we're going to build your library of automatic English phrases, because fluency is not about inventing new sentences every time. It's about having the right phrases ready to go instantly.
This section is so practical. Let's go. Hack number 2. Build your automatic phrase library.
Okay, Alex. I want to start this section with something that I think will completely change how our listeners think about fluency.
What is that?
Fluent speakers do not create language. They retrieve it. There's a big difference. When a native English speaker talks, they are not inventing new sentences from scratch every time. They are pulling out phrases, expressions, and patterns that they have heard and used thousands of times. Everything is already stored, ready to go, instant.
And this is exactly why fluent speakers do not pause. They are not building, they are retrieving, and retrieval is fast. Construction is slow.
So the solution is clear. You need to build your own library of automatic phrases, phrases that you have practiced so many times that they come out instantly, without thinking.
Let us start with filler and connector phrases. These are the small phrases that fluent speakers use to keep the conversation flowing smoothly, even when they need a moment to think. So instead of silence, you say, well, to be honest, you know what I mean? That is a good point. Let me think about that for a second. What I'm trying to say is, actually.
To be fair, the thing is, honestly speaking, if you ask me, I would say, it's kind of like...
Did you hear that? Those phrases give you time to think without making it obvious that you're thinking. Your speech keeps flowing. There is no awkward silence, no obvious pause.
And the key is, practice these phrases until they are completely automatic. So when you need a moment to think, your mouth automatically says, well, or you know, or to be honest, while your brain catches up.
Now, let's talk about opinion phrases, because one of the most common situations where people pause is when they are asked for their opinion. What do you think? What's your view? And suddenly, silence.
So practice these until they are automatic. In my opinion, from my point of view, personally I think, I strongly believe, I'm not entirely sure, but to be honest with you, I feel like...
So instead of pausing when someone asks, what do you think about learning English? You immediately say, personally, I think learning English is one of the best investments you can make in yourself. It opens so many doors.
You see how that flows? No pause, no hesitation, because the opening phrase, personally, I think, came out automatically. And once that phrase is out, the rest follows naturally.
Third category, agreeing and disagreeing phrases. Because conversations involve constant back and forth, and having these ready makes you sound incredibly natural.
For agreeing, absolutely. I completely agree. That is exactly right. You make a great point. I couldn't agree more. That is so true.
For disagreeing politely, I see your point, but I respectfully disagree. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think there's another way to look at it. That's interesting, but...
And fourth, storytelling phrases. Because when you tell a story or describe something, these phrases keep everything flowing smoothly. So, it all started when, you wouldn't believe what happened. The funny thing is, long story short, and the best part was, honestly, it was...
So instead of, yesterday, something happened, You say, "Okay, so you wouldn't believe what happened to me yesterday. Long story short, I was walking to the shop and..."
See how much more engaging that is? The phrases pull the listener in immediately.
So, your homework from this section, choose 10 phrases from what we shared today. Write them in your vocabulary journal. And for the next week, use each phrase at least 3 times, in conversations, in your daily English narration, out loud to yourself. Make them automatic. Make them yours.
Fluency is retrieval, not construction. Build your phrase library, practice until automatic, and your pauses will disappear one phrase at a time.
In Section 4, we tackle the fear of mistakes head-on, because this is the silent killer of fluency, and it's time to deal with it once and for all.
Let's do it.